at the latest details on Hurricane Florence. We're going to start locally here so you can see where we are compared to where Florence is right now. We have to pan about 1,100 miles off to our east and southeast to find Florence. The island of Bermuda is here, so it's still off to the southeast of that island nation, but the storm itself is strengthening, seeing that well-defined eye right around the center. The more clearly you can see that eye, it's a sign that the storm has its act together, especially with the circular bands around that with some colder cloud tops, some developing thunderstorms right around the center. A more symmetrical storm than what it was over the weekend. And the better it looks on the satellite perspective, odds are the stronger the winds are around that center of circulation. And in fact, with the 5 o'clock update, it has been upgraded to a Category 2 hurricane. 105-mile-an-hour sustained winds at the moment, moving to the west and northwest at 9 miles an hour. Expected to maintain that movement as it moves closer and closer to the coast of the southeastern United States, becoming a Category 4 hurricane with 150-mile-an-hour sustained winds. It is expected to weaken slightly right before it makes landfall, but right now, late Thursday, looks like the time frame when it's most likely to hit the coast somewhere between southern Virginia and southern South Carolina. And obviously, we are in the middle of that. But the cone is the more important thing than the line itself. So right now, you see it's very close to Wilmington and Wrightsville Beach for that expected point of landfall. That can still wobble around significantly over the next few days. So if it moves farther to the north, that puts us on the left side of the line. That's better news for us in central North Carolina. If it moves farther to the south, well, it takes the worst of the impacts potentially away from central North Carolina, but we're still on the right side of the system, and that's not where we want to be. And look how close these two icons are to each other. Once we hit Friday, or it's early Friday morning and then early Saturday morning, that's not much movement over 24 hours. The storm is expected to kind of stall out, which really significantly increases the flooding potential. In terms of the various forecast models, you can see why we're still within that cone. There's a wide spread in terms of possibilities, anywhere from southern South Carolina, even some of the models bring it to Georgia, all the way up towards Virginia Tidewater, but we're right in the middle of that. So we are squarely in the bullseye of this storm as it is developing and continuing to intensify right now. In terms of the chance of hurricane-force winds, those approach the coast of North Carolina already by Wednesday night into early Thursday, with the strongest winds moving onshore by Thursday night. And some of those hurricane-force winds have a chance to even maintain into central North Carolina. So we're going to keep an eye on the wind threat, the flooding threat, the threat of tornadoes touching down. That's a potential hazard with any landfalling hurricane. Lots to keep our eyes on over the next few days. In the meantime, it's a Monday morning. Folks got to get out the door and go to work, go to school, while you're also getting ready and paying attention to the forecast. Some fog out there this morning could slow you down, so maybe a couple extra minutes on the drive. 66 in Chapel Hill, 68 degrees on campus at NC State with low-hanging cloud cover instead of that fog right at ground level. It'll take a little while for the sun to burn through that. Mid to upper 60s to low 70s for current temperatures, and it's definitely muggy outside. Our temperatures will warm up as we go through the day. Once the sun burns through, we'll hit the mid to upper 80s for highs, upper 80s again tomorrow with a better chance of scattered thunderstorms. That's not tropical activity. That's just garden variety late summertime stuff today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And then we feel the influence of Florence by Thursday and Friday in all likelihood. And some of that could stick around all the way into the weekend. Just depends on how much the storm slows down once it makes landfall. So we get new data continuously. We're going to keep evaluating that and keep you ahead of the storm.
All right. Yes, we will. This morning, though, we have a normal morning.
Yeah, so to speak.
At least, you know, literally right now.
Right now, yeah.
Traffic-wise and weather-wise, it's quiet for now. 5:20.